Okay, so I've removed the dough from the freezer, and again I'm just going to put a little bit of gluten-free flour underneath so that the pastry slides. And again, just to keep the pastry nice and rectangular, I'm just going to slice the folds. Again, nice hockey puck. The pastry is nice and slidey. So I'm going to roll it out again and flip-flop it like I did before. So I'm just going to roll the top. Again, a little dust of flour. Rub the flour in. Fold it over. Then I'm just going to rub the flour into the pastry here. I don't want to be rolling flour into the pastry. So you can see that the tearing has actually subsided. It's not so bad. So I'm just going to keep rolling this by hand, using very gentle pressure. You can see the pastry is staying nice and rectangular. So again, I'm just going to brush this off. And again, I'm going to just fold it in. Fold it in. So you can see now that there's very little needs to be cut off. So I'll just try and push it together. There's a little gap there, so I'm just going to trim this. Just pushing, not really cutting. I'm going to fill in the gaps with the pastry that I've cut. Roll it in and fold it over. So just to help that stick, again I'm just going to spray it ever so slightly with some water. Just going to roll it together then so that it sticks. And this is 100% gluten-free. It's taken me a lot of time, a lot of gluten-free flour, a lot of butter, a lot of reading to get it to this stage. So I'm very pleased so far with the results. As always, the proof, as to say, is in the pudding or in the baking. So I'm just going to roll this out now. So a little over 30 centimeters. So you can feel the pastry just getting a little bit sticky. And I'm just going to put a small amount of flour underneath. Just roll it. Again, a little bit sticky. The butter is maybe just starting to soften a bit. I'm going to roll it out to roughly 5 millimeters thick. It's important that you're always the boss of the pastry, so if it starts to misshape, it stays quite plastic because of the butter and the consistency of the dough. You can see I'm maintaining a nice rectangular shape throughout. I want it just a little bit longer, so when I cut my croissants, they'll be long. I'm going to go for a length of about 35. 35 to 40 centimeters. So that's just over 36, which is perfect. And I'll put that pastry there in full view. So what I'll do is I will just adjust the camera there so you can see what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to divide that into 4. And I'm just going to trim literally the edge off it. So you can see there's very little waste. Literally this much. Then I'm just going to take a knife or a blade. So this ruler will actually do because it's gluten free. I'm just going to cut from one side to the other. See that? Just watch them separate. That's perfect. So one of the little things I like to do when I'm making croissant is just to widen the base a little bit. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Put these guys up. So I'm using a rolling pin. And I'm not going to have it flat. I'm actually going to have it literally at an angle. So I'm going to angle the rolling pin and I'm just going to go left and right. Left and right. Left and right. And here again, left and right. So I've just extended the triangle out a little bit. Again, as I said, these are gluten free. So I need to handle the pastry quite carefully. So I'm just going to roll it. And once I get it going, then under its own weight, I'm just going to roll it up to form a croissant. So here's the next one. And by rolling that little end thin, it just helps you get a nice shape, a nice point on the end of the croissant. There you go. So you can see I'm just thumbing it over and then I'm just very gently rolling it. Stop, roll, roll, roll. And pressing down. So I'm going to put these guys into a prover. They take about an hour. I'll just check them and see do they wobble. And these are the last ones here. So I'm just going to spread these out here and roll the ends like I did before. So you can see them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the end of my rolling pin, at an angle, I'm just going to extend out the heel. Okay, this is the bottom part of the croissant. And what that does is just, as I said, it just helps you give a really nice shape to it. What's really nice about this pastry so far is you can see it handles well. It has maintained the layers. It isn't tearing. And I think we're going to get some really nice croissants from it. So they almost look like non-gluten-free croissant. Now they will be denser, they will be heavier. And I'll put one on a scale in a second and show you the weight. They will take slightly longer to bake than a normal croissant as well. There we go. So there you can see, these are my gluten-free croissants. So I've got 8 from this recipe. And again, you can see the trimmings, that's all I have left. It's very little, and they can be incorporated back into the next dough. So I'm going to put those in a tray and I'm going to prove them, and we'll have a look at them just before they go into the oven.